A concern of several retail operations in the bubble on Port Zante has been addressed, said Raquel Brown, the Chief Executive Officer of the St. Kitts Tourism Authority. Several weeks ago, when cruise ships began docking at Port Zante, following the restart of cruise tourism in the Federation, coming out of a COVID-19 impacted global cruise industry, cruise passengers returning from bubble tours had no opportunity to walk through Port Zante and perhaps engage in some shopping, several merchants told SK Newsline. However, CEO Brown said the authority heard the concern and addressed the issue.
The tour buses were returning to the drop-off nearby the loading area, which is basically where you come off of the gangway and you would turn right, because we no longer have the western side. When Celebrity Equinox came for the first 2 calls, that's how it was. When we had our first call on November 1st, we got feedback from Port Zante merchants. And by the second week of November, that was changed. The drop-off area has now been included to be where the traditional drop-off area is, where you come in by the first roundabout and where the taxi where the taxi loading area would be. That's where it is, where the bathroom is. They are exiting there, and so they actually start from Chairs, which is basically the bottom of Port Zante, and they're walking up.
While this would be helpful to Port Zante merchants, Brown emphasized that passenger spending could be lower than normal.
The ships are coming with 40 to 60% of persons. That's the first thing. We see people, and it's the general expectations that persons are going to be shopping as they shopped previously. They're going through, even though they took a vacation because they want a vacation, they too have financial constraints, so they're being extremely frugal in what they're purchasing. Thirdly, we also have to take into consideration that they're going to other ports, and there's something called competition. And they're choosing what they want, where they want to spend their money. It is going to get better, but I think we have to take into consideration what COVID has done economically. And some of these persons had cruise trips from in 2020, but they're postponed to now. And so, yes, they have their trip, but maybe they don't have the economic means that they probably had. It's been 18 months. We don't know what is going on. So the same situation that many of us are facing here, the world is facing it. You see in the United States that there's an increase in inflation. Persons are choosing whether or not what jobs they take when they go back to work, even though they may have vacations that they're taking, that they've paid for already. So I think we just need to remember this is a phased approach, and people cruising right now are also in their phased approach to resuming cruise.
Since the reopening of cruise tourism in the Federation, the number of calls have moved from 2 calls in July with 236 passengers to 17 calls so far in November, bringing 23,040 passengers. Glenn Bard reporting for SK Newsline.